started. Go ahead.
Obviously, new season, obviously clearer mindset here. Obviously coming up on a season where, the series against Cleveland. What's it like to have an off season now where you're getting into a clearer mindset, the players kind of know what the goal is?
We're able to do everything this off season. Like I said before, after that series, it was humbling, and we had plenty of time to get away, reflect, decompress, and then get to work. We had to analyze that series first. We had to analyze things that happened the last 6-8 weeks of the season. Some of the stuff from before that wasn't quite as relevant. And then we had plenty of opportunity to retool and get to work, put our minds together as a staff, and put together a coherent plan that we think is makes sense for this season, and then get the players ready. The players are in a great place right now. Everybody's in really good shape. Approached the last 2 months of this summer the right way. I'm pleased with where everybody is right now, and when you have that much time off from a playoff series to start a training camp, I think it's just natural that everybody's really excited just to get going.
Erik, Norman obviously is coming off the best scoring year of his career, and every team, it's in this NBA, every team needs more scoring. I know it's deeper than that, but especially with Tyler out for the short term, just how much does that punch that he brings, how much is that going to be an immediate help for you guys?
Well, we're excited to have Norm with us for a lot of different reasons. That's a big part of it. His ability to put the ball in the basket, and he can do it in a variety of ways that make sense for our team and our roster. He can do it on the ball, he can do it off the ball. He's played a lot of different roles with the teams that he's played on, and he's been able to be efficient in all the different roles. But I think it always comes down to the right type of fit first, and you have to be like-minded in your approach of how you view the game and how you view trying to compete to win. He's won a championship before. He's been part of a lot of winning teams. He takes it very seriously. He's a competitive dude. We like that. He's got an edge to him, and his work ethic is tremendous. So there's a lot of things, that we think fit, how we approach the game. He's excited to be here, and with Tyler out, yes, it helps to have that. But with Tyler in, that's what we're excited about is the possibilities.
Erik, can you go through kind of the process of? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see it.
Erik, did you see enough from Kalel playing alongside Bam mid-January on, and from Kalel during the summer that you're comfortable projecting him as your starting center alongside Bam?
Look, this season, and sometimes you can look at it, as a way that makes you uncomfortable. But there's an element of unknown with this team and this season, and I think it's invigorated me. I'm embracing the unknown. There are some things that we do know, with the veteran players and Bam and Tyler and Wiggs and Davion, Norm. But I think when you can also have a season where you're just not totally sure, and then there's big possibilities and gaps to fill where guys can grow into big roles that ultimately can impact winning. I think that's exciting, and that's why we all feel really invigorated by that. It is not a negative thing, when you have an unknown, because it can turn into something really special, as the season goes on, and maybe people surprise you. Maybe there are some big jumps in terms of impacting winning. That's what it always is going to come down to. So in answering your question about Kalel, I have seen a lot. Despite what people think my tenor is with him or whatever, I really enjoy coaching Kalel. He's a young player, and he's learning our standards and learning the head coach's standards of approaching every single day to strive for excellence and not accept anything less than that. And then you stack a bunch of days up like that, then eventually, as a young player, you start to learn how, oh, that impacts winning. Is he there yet? No. Does he show signs of that? Yes, because he does really care. He cares about it. He's learning it, and that's okay, for a young player. He and Bam had some good moments together. In the playoffs, it wasn't good. That's okay too. We're going to work on that. He's trending in a way that he's positioning himself for an important role, and then he'll have to prove it. He'll have to earn it, just like everybody else. There'll be some guys that we're going to lean on that that you can bank on their minutes. Bam being one of them. Several others. I don't have to name all their names, but Kalel's in that bucket of young guys that I'm really excited about. That could collectively, they could really impact this season. We could be a much different team later on than where we are right now heading into camp.
How much did you enjoy and get out of traveling to go see Nico and Pella on the Eurobasket? How important can that experience be for them, and kind of what growth did you see from this?
Yeah, it was so much fun, and I like having an opportunity to do that. When you have time, but it was really unique to have those guys competing in the same summer. Sometimes guys don't play. Cass didn't play this year because we thought it was appropriate for him to be with us, but that would have been really cool, if he had an opportunity to play there. But the first trip, flew right into Rome and was able to see Simone, spend a nice dinner breaking bread. He picked the spot, and what a great pro he is. And to see the responsibilities he has for his national team. But I had never met him before. I just only had heard great things about him when we did our research, not only from Detroit, but Utah, where they really liked him at both places. And then, to see Pella and Nico in their home cities was a lot of fun. Spend time with their families. They picked restaurants, and also to be able to kind of do that during the summer where I'm not coaching them. I'm able to have spirits with their family and have a good time drinking whatever local liquor they have and breaking bread and not having to break down the game or what my expectation. This trip was not at all about that. It was just about having a fun time with their families. I'd never been to Stockholm before. I've been to a lot of places because of this round ball and 4 lines. I'd never been there. I'd never been to Serbia. It was a lot of fun hanging out with Nico and his family, but also his friends, and seeing how the national team has really embraced Nico. It's a group of basically 30-year-olds where they all came up together. The veteran guys of that group, they've been playing together since they were 12 or 13, 14 years old. And each one of them came up to me when I was able to go to one of the practices and said, hey, we got him. Don't worry. He's becoming more mature, more professional. And if you're hanging out with players much older than you, it just naturally happens. I've seen growth from him over 3 years because of that standard that they've had, in that program. So it was fun. I was able to have some Serbian dishes and spend time with a lot of people over there.
Erik, can you go through the process with Tyler and how the decision was made to have the surgery, when it was, and did you think that there was a chance that it wouldn't be required and maybe he would be available?
Yeah, I think all those things were on the table. There was option A, option B, option C. That was option C, and so we worked through the other things. He had a really good summer, as he always does. We know Tyler puts in a lot of time. It was just something that was nagging, and we felt that might be able to help it, with treatment and different protocols, but it wasn't getting better, so that was the final decision to do that. And the way I look at it, I look around the league and I see major injuries across the league. I don't wanna say it's minor, because when you're going through something like that, you know, a player, and you're gonna be out a little bit of time, it's never minor, but he's going to be back sooner than later. And by the end of the season, I think the time you miss, you'll forget about that. How long that'll be, we can't say right now, but whatever was projected out there, I think that's in the ballpark. You know, he'll be up and running and doing stuff pretty soon.
You mentioned Bam is one of the few players you can bank on, but with a new roster and with Tyler out to start the season, does that change the expectations for him? As far
Yeah,
as
but in different ways than probably everybody out here thinks. You know, everybody will just always point to his scoring average. He'll be able to score. He's like a lot of us. We've had a lot of time to reflect. He's setting himself up to have a terrific season. But I'm excited to see his next step of development, and that'll continue to be in leadership, mentorship. It's really amazing to even say that right now, but we're going into our 9th year together. I treasure those years. When I first started coaching him, he was a teenager. And then now I see him, you know, in that leadership and mentorship role. It takes great vulnerability, you know, to be able to impact a locker room of a lot of players that are impressionable. And when you're a player that is respected so deeply like Bam by everybody in there, and that's because of winning. They've seen him play in June many times. He's stacked up a lot of wins and a lot of playoff wins. Well, these young players that are coming in, they've watched that, they've noticed that. And then, you know, to have the humility and vulnerability to not put yourself, you know, up here. You know, and telling guys what to do all the time. You know, I think that's the mentorship piece that he's really growing into, and I'm going to enjoy watching him really apply that this season.
Morning, Coach. When you added Norman, what was your excitement level with that? As a guy could have been an all-star last season, and what was your message to him when he arrived in your first meeting?
Well, I met with him in Vegas right away. Was able to spend some time with him, and we were thrilled. Obviously, well, we had a lot of things that you know, we planned to do this summer. That was one that happened pretty fast, and it was a little bit of a surprise. We've battled against him over the years, you know, particularly when he was in Toronto. So that respect level was there, and how he approached the game, and learning about him, even, you know, the way Kyle talked about him. We're really impressed with his makeup. Yeah, so I didn't have a message, you know, the first time I met with him. We have time for that. I'm not really the same coach I was in 2008, you know, when I met with Dwayne and at lunch and immediately started going into, hey, here's what you got to do. We have time for that. It was more about just getting to know him and shooting the S, you know, as you tend to do in Vegas. It was fun though, getting to know him. I like him. I like him as a guy.
Morning, Coach. I hope you had a good summer. I wanted to ask, what's your guys' plan for basically the ball handler? As you guys, your best years, you guys had top 10 offense in terms of assists, and you guys were a better three-point shooting team the last 3 years. You guys haven't shot the ball as well. Yeah, your assists have become better over the last few years, but you guys haven't had like a primary ball handler.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of primary ball handlers, I think, on this roster. But I think the versatility, I think you need it in this league right now. This is a different league than it was 5, 6, 7 years ago. You have to have a lot of guys that can make plays off the dribble, that can enter you into offense, that can handle pressure. And I don't really want to compare, you know, things to last season. To me, this feels like a different chapter, a different season. We have a different plan that we feel makes sense for this group, and it has nothing to do with our statistics or analytics from last season. Once we went through the autopsy of the playoff series and the last 6-8 weeks, we moved on, and then when we put together this roster, you know, really the last 6 weeks have been about putting together a plan that we think hopefully we'll maximize this roster, but we want to leave a bunch of room for improvement. We want to leave some wow factors that can change the course of the season, and an adaptability to be able to change course, slightly or significantly, whatever's necessary for this season. But we've put in the time, to say the least. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun these last 2 months, charting a different plan for what we feel is a different team.
You guys would expect and ask a lot of wigs, obviously, but just how much more settled? How important was this offseason for him just to get settled down here and spend time down here? And obviously, the transition to mid-season's not easy. Have you seen him more kind of comfortable in the Wiggins so far this offseason?
Without a doubt, yeah. I'm very pleased with where Wiggs is right now heading into camp. He's in terrific shape. He's been in the gym really since middle of July. I don't know if they've done that, previously. It doesn't really matter. But he moved his family down here. His best games, not so coincidentally, last year was when his family visited. And that's the type of human being he is. He just wants to have his people around him, his support group, and his family and kids are amazing. They started school down here. He's put in the time. You can just see it on his face. When Wiggs is when he's smiling and approaching every day with a positive approach. And I think, he's proven himself in this league that he can be such an impactful player, both ends of the court. He can be elite. He can be elite as an offensive player. He can be elite, top of the food chain defensively when he's on top of his game. And I think he's healthy, he's in shape, and we'll need all of that from him to embrace being great.
Last couple questions.
What's your perspective on what Terry Rosier might be able to do to get back to where he was before? And did you talk to him, and now in sort of hindsight, looking back, did you see a particular reason where his play sort of fell off that cliff?
I didn't really have those kind of discussions. Like, last year's last year. I think any one of us could look at last season and say, whoa, what was that? And that's just the way it was. But what you can control is your approach every day. And Terry's been in the gym. Again, it's very similar to Wiggs. Terry's been in the gym since middle of July. He's been working with Jeff Ruiz on his body, his fitness. He's in great shape. He's lost 10, 12 pounds. Body fat is down. He's moving great. And when he wasn't with us, he was playing pickup anywhere he could find a game in Miami. That's the kind of guy he is. He's a hooper. So when I said there's an unknown and there's an openness, I'm open, to the start of the season, and I'm not going to judge, players or put them in preconceived boxes right now. We need some, some jumps, some pops, and I want to have an environment that's open, to guys stepping up.
So as far as power rotation depth behind Bam and Ware and Jovic, what appealed to you guys about bringing Precious back? And did Vlad Golden show you enough where you think you might be able to count on him for a certain number of those 50 eligible two-way NBA games?
Yes, we feel very good about our front court because we have size, not only vertical size, but we have athleticism size, we have versatility size, we have girth size. Vlad had a really good summer, and he doesn't necessarily jump off the page with his play, but what he does is he's consistent with that physicality, that effort, and he'll get better at some of the NBA nuances. That's a specific role, that Vlad hopefully can carve out in this league. And as you can see, when I said the league is changing, that's some of how the league is changing, and you just want to be able to check that box, and there's a need for guys with that kind of size and physicality. Precious, we never had an opportunity to fully develop him. There was a lot that we really liked about him. That speed and athleticism that jumps off the page. And I think he probably has a different perspective. Some of these discussions that we were able to laugh about it. Some of these a couple weeks ago, or actually a couple days ago, about how some of my mentorship, with Kalel or Nico over the years, that was Precious his rookie year. There are a lot of ups and downs with Precious and the head coach. And we didn't have that opportunity to take that next step. And I think we were primed to have a really good summer and take a next step. And we have that opportunity now. I think he has a different perspective now, being in a couple different places, seeing where we're coming from, that it's all a place that's coming from a place of love. And he has an opportunity, but we'll see. Like I said, nothing's guaranteed.
Last question.
Just seeing the season, Davion, how offensively last year you can see 45% from three, and there might be a little bit of a dip this season, but just how does he sustain that level of offense and just the impact offensively that he had last season?
Yeah, it's the impact. That's the main thing. If you're not just focused on the stats, if you're not making a goal of I have to shoot this certain 3-point percentage or have this many assists or whatever, you can be open to a lot of different things. And Davion's a gym rat, so he's going to spend all the time. And he has an environment where we're not going to put a ceiling or a cap on it. So he has an opportunity to explore and expand. I don't want him thinking about a scoring average or a shooting percentage. He impacts the game in so many different ways. By the last month of the season, more importantly, were his paint touches and changing the pace for us and dogging guys, defensively. The 3-point percentage was just a byproduct of having wide open shots and other people creating, and he really stepped up and made those. But what he does is what we value and what this team, quite frankly, needs. Whether that's starting or coming off the bench, I don't know, but he's so competitive. He's gonna find a way to make a big impact.
All right, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Tyler, we'll be in here next, guys.